All right, guys. So a lot of people are getting concerned about what the Federal Reserve is about to do. And basically, people are just kind of freaking out because the Fed just said that Americans are going to run out of money by October 2023. But I want you to understand that this doesn't have to be you too. All right. So, you know, is it the end of the world that the Fed's going to probably raise interest rates or at a minimum hold interest rates where they are for a sustained period of time? Uh, Probably not. And I'm going to share with you guys some solutions that could make you potentially immune to what the Fed is doing, right? So, to some extent, right? Or at least you should be able to put yourself into a position to be able to move forward financially for you and your family, regardless of what the Federal Reserve is doing, right? So I don't know if you guys have known, but Americans have they have like a little over about $2.1 trillion in personal savings back in 2021. Now, this was like what, 2 years ago, right? But that $2.1 trillion in personal savings that Americans had has dwindled down to $1.9 billion, according to some Federal Reserve data that was recently shared. So Americans still have money saved, just not nearly as much. But, there's a significant amount of money that has been, evaporated away through job loss, maybe inflation and different things of that nature. And of course, you've got this decrease in the personal savings rate. It can be tracked all the way back to the beginning of the pandemic, when basically people started saving due to, uncertainty. Nobody knew what was going to happen in the economy. Then the government thankfully started sending out stimulus checks, but it was a small amount of money, but it did boost spending. But it didn't really help the people. It helped businesses more than anything else. And this was a key factor which drove up inflation. But it wasn't just the stimulus checks. It was the PPP loans. It was the EIDL. Like basically, there was a lot of money that went out, and the average person didn't get that money, right? Then, of course, inflation hit a lot of different sectors of the economy. It hit the housing market, and this drove up housing costs. The low interest rates really made housing more affordable. And with a lot of people working remotely, working from home, a lot of people just bought up real estate. They wanted a nicer place to work from. They wanted a nicer place to spend more of their time from. So a lot of people bought new houses. They built houses. They moved, right? Used car prices went through the roof. Gas prices went through the roof. Food costs went higher, right? And basically all these different factors caused assets to increase in value. It caused assets to kind of bubble up. And it also it caused a lot of people to deplete their savings rapidly because everything was becoming more and more expensive. And of course, Jerome Powell, was warning that, inflation was high, needed to do something about it. Inflation hit like 9% in June of 2022, if I remember correctly. And I don't even think that Americans had really even fully realized the impact at that point. But the housing market began to feel a shock because this was, if you go back to June 2022, that was when the Federal Reserve was raising interest rates. They had just started doing that 3 months prior. And then, of course, you got the return of the student loan payments coming down the pipeline starting in October of 2023. So in about 3 weeks, this is going to be putting an additional negative financial impact on roughly 43 million Americans. That's going to be pretty significant. Think about it. If you're one of those people, hopefully you're not, who hadn't had to worry about a $300, $500, $1,000 monthly student loan payment for 2-3 years, chances are, I think there's a significant amount of people who have believed that they're not going to have to pay this thing. So when this bill hits their bank accounts or when this bill hits their mailbox and they got to start paying this thing again, it's going to be real interesting how this unfolds on the economy. And then, of course, this newfound bill is going to force a lot of Americans to really just kind of cut back on unnecessary spending. They may have to sell stuff, may be seeing all sorts of things listed on Craigslist, Amazon, eBay. And it's going to force people to really just figure out, okay, how are they going to make it through this? And they're going to have to start saving and investing very wisely. Some people may have to get second jobs, part-time jobs, you name it. And, there's basically four key principles that, I've really, really just kind of like ingrained in myself. Number one, I'm very, very conservative. So I don't care how much money I make, I'm always going to spend less than what I make by a long shot. So I live on less than I make. Definitely always have a budget. I have a budget. I don't study it every single day because our expenses don't change that much. But if you don't have a budget, I would definitely create a personal budget. Stay out of consumer debt. The Federal Reserve's interest rate hikes are hitting people hard who have a lot of debt. So if you're not borrowing money, when the Federal Reserve raises or lowers interest rates, it won't affect you really at all directly. How it will affect you if you have no debt would be, okay, if the Fed continues to raise interest rates, then companies might get scared and want to do layoffs. It will affect you if you work in an industry that is heavily reliant on being able to finance products. Meaning, for example, let's just say you work at a used car dealership or a car dealership, period. Most people aren't walking in there buying, $60,000 cars with cash. So if interest rates go up and you work for a car dealership, chances are you're going to have a harder time selling cars because it's going to make everybody's car payment more expensive, right? So even if you didn't have debt, that's how it could affect you. If you're a real estate agent, chances are it's going to be harder to sell a house because it's more expensive for the monthly payment on a mortgage. If you sell furniture, if you work for Rooms to Go or Haverty's or any of these different furniture places, Ashley's, if people aren't buying houses and people aren't moving as much, then people probably aren't buying as much furniture. And if financing is more expensive because interest rates are higher, chances are people aren't going to want to spend 10 grand on furniture if they can't get financing, or if the financing payments, if the payments are much more expensive, that's going to impact things, right? So there's that. And I just want you guys to be aware of that. But in spite of this, me personally, I'm still investing in the stock market. I'm buying up Vanguard, S&P 500, ETFs left and right, And to me personally, regardless of what the Federal Reserve is doing, we've been through this before, guys. If you look historically at the Federal Reserve's pattern of raising and lowering interest rates, they've always done this and they will continue to do this. But one thing I do know for a fact is that if I look at the historical performance of the S&P 500 over the last 50, 100 years, the trajectory is still north regardless of what the Fed has done. Now, the stock market may go up and down short term, and you might tie it to what the Federal Reserve is doing, but long term is what I'm focused on. And this is part of why I like dividend investing, because when the stock market goes down, dividend paying stocks are basically, they're able to be purchased at much better valuations, and it makes their dividends much more attractive. I'm investing in VOO, for if I'm trying to track the S&P 500. I'm investing in SCHD if I'm looking for more of a dividend payment on my investment. I have a list of probably 30 different dividend paying stocks that I like to invest in. And if you guys have seen one of my recent videos, I told you how much I didn't really like the performance of Verizon stock for me, because even though it had a very attractive starting dividend, the fact that the stock value continued to decline for years, it ate away at any kind of dividend payments that I was earning on it. So, that was one lesson that I had learned. And I actually experienced a very similar situation with the AT&T stock, where it had a very attractive starting dividend, but the stock price just kept declining. So it really ate away at those starting dividends. I personally think that I'm much better off investing in companies that have much stronger financials. They have a history of increasing their dividends, and perhaps the starting dividend rate is not as juicy and attractive, right? So instead of chasing like a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9% starting dividend yield, perhaps we're better off going after companies that are only paying like 1 or 2%, 3% max, maybe starting dividend yields, because those are likely much more sustainable. And if you can find these companies, which I'm always looking at, companies that have a increasing dividend growth rate, you might get in at say 2%, but you hold on to that sucker for a few years and it may end up being like 6, 7, 8, 9% dividend rates over time as the company continues to increase their dividends every quarter, once a year, whatever the case may be. So definitely something that, and so this is why I'm like always investing in the stock market, because even when the market's down, your portfolio value might be down, but that creates some significant buying opportunities in the stock market. And if your goal is dividend income, it really presents some significant opportunities to buy dividend paying stocks on the cheap. And at the same time, your dividend paying stocks are still paying you even when the stock market's down. So when you receive those dividends, if you have set your account up with like the DRIP plan, the dividend reinvestment plan or program, basically the dividend payments are buying more stocks for you at a significantly lower price. So you're getting more for your money, increasing the dividend payments and payouts that you receive going forward. So, the importance of personal responsibility for financial success is definitely going to be key in the next several months. So I just wanted you guys to be aware of that. And don't let these external factors like the Fed and, whatever the Fed's doing with interest rates deter you from your long-term objectives. Understand what the Fed is doing, but, stay on course, guys. Like try not to let the Fed and their decisions scare you too much. Right. So, but I did want to share some side hustles with you, because one of the greatest things that I did several years ago, I don't even remember how many years ago it is now. Like one of the things that really helped me and my family is I ended up working 2 full-time jobs for a couple of years, and it was tough. It was tough. But, by having a goal and a budget in mind, it made those extra funds go a very long way in terms of getting out of debt super fast and building a nice investment base with that extra money. So imagine you made an extra $50,000 a year, $100,000 a year, but you didn't change your income or you didn't change your expenses. Imagine how much more progress you could make with that extra income, right? Because the average American spends a significant amount of their income on just living expenses. So imagine if your living expenses didn't increase, but you could potentially increase your income by 50%, 100%, 200%, and you stayed on course. You didn't live lavish. You didn't ball out of control. You didn't start on the gram buying expensive cars, taking lavish vacations with this money. Instead, you stayed smart. You paid off debt and you invested, right? And you do this for a couple of years. Now you get the compounding effect of your investments working to your advantage for years and years on end, right? So I just want to share with you guys 5 side hustles that could potentially earn you over $1,000 a month, along with a range of different, income ranges that you could potentially earn from each one of these. And I want you guys to understand that earning an extra $1,000 a month from a side hustle is not impossible. It is very doable. And if you've never done it before, it might seem impossible. It might be like, oh my God, you're right. But I just want you guys to understand that from my own personal experience, it is totally doable. And I've been doing it for years. And I know a lot of other people have been doing it for years too. So one of the things you can do is you can maybe start doing some freelance writing. And, basically you can make anywhere between, $50 to $500 per article or per project, really depending upon your experience level and whatever niche you happen to be in. And of course, you might think to yourself, well, how am I going to do that, Ron? Well, there's different platforms out there like Upwork, you got Freelancer, you got Fiverr, Contently, you've got ProBlogger, the ProBlogger job board. And with AI tools such as ChatGPT, honestly, there's no reason why, even if you're not a writer, why you couldn't really just become a writer on the side. So that is definitely an opportunity, a great side hustle that you could start and work remotely from anywhere doing that. And the next one I want to share with you guys is online tutoring, right? Everybody has something that they're good at. And as an online tutor, you can make anywhere from $10 to $75 or more per hour, depending upon your expertise, right? So maybe you were really good in science, or maybe you're really good in math. Maybe you're great, in computer programming. Maybe you're great at building websites. Maybe you're great at exercise and working out. Maybe you could be a personal trainer. Maybe you're great at cooking. Maybe you're great at, there's so many different things. Think about what people have complimented you on a regular basis, and that can help you figure out what you could possibly tutor others on. Because like whenever you get complimented constantly, other people see something in you, and that's why they're doing that, right? And maybe you can, in most cases, you can tutor other people to do that thing that you're doing very well at, right? So how do you kind of monetize that? Well, it's different platforms like VIP Kid, you got Chegg Tutors, you got Wyzant, you got tutor.com, and there's also Prep Reply or Pre-Reply. I forget how it goes. But anyway, lots of different platforms out there that you could use to get your tutoring, side hustle, small business off the ground. Another thing that is a pastime of mine is e-commerce and drop shipping, right? Now, the income range could be off the charts, really, so basically you could probably make, $500 to $5,000 per month in your first year with a drop shipping business. And I know a lot of people who are making significantly more than $5,000 per month running their drop shipping businesses, running their e-commerce stores. And you can leverage platforms like WooCommerce. You can do drop shipping leveraging eBay, Amazon FBA, Shopify, and even Etsy. So, this is a great way to not have to buy inventory, but be able to sell products, both physical and digital products, online without having to have inventory. And like I said, you can make anywhere between $5,000 to $5,000 more than likely in your first year every single month. And, if you really like it, you keep growing your business, and there's no reason why you couldn't potentially continue to grow that business. And maybe even leave your 9-to-5 job so that you can do that full time. I don't know if you guys have heard, but you probably have affiliate marketing. Affiliate marketing offers a wide range of opportunities, and the income can vary widely. And me personally, I've earned, affiliate income of up to, I think the most I made from affiliate marketing, because I've actually done that for a number of years now. Well, not really, no, probably like 3 years I did affiliate marketing. The most I've made in a month is probably like maybe $10,000. So yes, you can make $10,000 a month or more. And I'm not even that good at it, but I understand how to do it. And I've been doing it for years. But as a brand new beginner, you could literally, and I've actually taught so many other people how to do it now. You could literally be doing affiliate marketing and generate your first paycheck in like less than a month, in my opinion. And I say this because I walk someone through doing it who I work with. So yeah, you could make an extra $1,000 a month doing affiliate marketing. In fact, I'm putting together something. I'm building a course right now that I'm going to share with you guys that will help you to be able to get started and increase your income through these side hustles that you could start and run in your spare time, and potentially kind of automate themselves and generate hopefully some passive income for you. More on that later in future videos. And you can use different platforms, to generate affiliate marketing commissions and revenues, like Amazon Associates. You got ClickBank, you got Commission Junction, you got Share a Sale. There's a lot of different platforms that offer affiliate commissions, and it's just a great way to supplement your income. And some of the money that you could make, the money that you could make from affiliate marketing can literally be life changing. And I would be remiss if I did not share with you guys content creation. You can create a YouTube channel in a matter of minutes. There's podcasting, there's blogging. It's amazing how much content's uploaded to YouTube every second. I don't even understand how they store all these videos. But anyway, so, you could start a YouTube channel, get monetized, and literally there's life-changing money to be made there. Now, of course, the income varies significantly based on your audience size and your niche. But, you could earn anywhere from, nothing. Of course, you can earn nothing. Most people are earning nothing, right? But you can earn, $100, $10,000 a month, couple $100,000 a month. And I know that these numbers sound unbelievable and like, yeah, right, Ron. But dude, seriously, like it is totally possible. Leveraging platforms like YouTube, WordPress for blogging, Anchor for podcasting, and Patreon if you want to like monetize some of your work off of the YouTube or podcasting or blogging platforms. So I just wanted to share some of this information with you guys because, even though the Fed is making changes with interest rates that will affect the economy, if you prepare yourself today, you will almost be sheltered from any decisions that the Fed will make, as long as you play the game smart. And this is a game, right? This is a long-term game. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. We're in this marathon for the long run. If you guys got value out of this video, do me a favor, drop a quick like for the video. Also subscribe to the channel. If you'd like to learn more about starting your own small business, getting your side hustle off the ground, or even starting a YouTube channel, definitely hit me up in the comment section down below and check the description of the video. I'm going to leave some helpful links for you guys. I appreciate you, and I'll see you on the next one.